is the scene happening right now inside MetLife Stadium as Seth Rollins is celebrating as the new World Heavyweight Champion. As we welcome you here to the post-show of SummerSlam, Joe Tessitore, Peter Rosenberg, and Big E with you. We continue to cover the action that's happening inside as you see Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, Paul Heyman, and yes, Seth Rollins, who seemingly suffered a serious knee injury on July 12th, came back tonight after CM Punk defeated Gunther to become the World Heavyweight Champion, cashed in that Money in the Bank briefcase, and now he is back on top of the world.
I'm speechless.
You don't know what to say.
I thought that when we saw John Cena do what he did, Elimination Chamber, the three of us would never be sitting here that dumbfounded again. And absolutely, we all just absolutely lost our minds when that music hit.
And man, what a moment. CM Punk finally becomes world champion for what? After a decade. It's been a decade more than a decade since he's held a title here in WWE. He has that emotional moment. You see like tears start falling from this man's eyes because that moment means so much for him. And here comes Seth Rollins to take all that away.
The master of the cash-in. There will never be a more dangerous person with the briefcase than Seth freaking Rollins.
On a night of making incredible headlines, there will be none bigger than that right there on your screen. Seth Rollins cashes in the Money in the Bank contract to win the World Heavyweight Championship over CM Punk, who endured such brutality in a classic against Gunther and then was celebrating exhausted with such emotion. His moment to shine after his return to WWE just a few years ago, finally back on top, and then moments later, Seth Rollins appeared on crutches, gave a look to the ring, turned around, innocuously heading back to that gorilla position, threw the crutches away, threw the knee brace away, and it was on. Now CM Punk leaves the ring. You can see beaten, battered, limping, and so drained in every way, physically, mentally, emotionally, as Seth Rollins is the World Heavyweight Champion.
You used a lot of words. The only word, Joe, you didn't use, maybe to me, the one that sums it all up. He looks defeated. That is a man who was right there. It was all in his grasp. And now he is truly all the things you just said, plus the emotionally, the mentally defeated. To think, at this age, guys, at any age, you are not guaranteed championship opportunities in WWE. But when you're at this age as CM Punk, and you had it in your grasp for 30 seconds, so many of us are still taking in WWE Unreal on Netflix. We saw what all these moments have meant to him along the way. And that was top of the mountain, and then it's gone.
Absolutely, and this is a very different version of CM Punk from the one that I knew about a decade ago. This is a man who's very grateful for these moments, who yearns to be in the main event, who yearns to win a world championship again. You saw how much it meant to him. You saw the emotion in his eyes when he held that title. And here comes Seth Rollins to take everything that he worked for away. And think about how much it takes to defeat a man like Gunther. He gave his all here tonight, and yet it still was not enough to leave MetLife Stadium as world champion.
And Joe, not only that, how about this? It ends up burying the classic, as you just alluded to.
That's right.
It buries the classic he just put on with Gunther.
Yeah, Gunther put forth a great showing against Punk right up until the moment when Punk tripped him up on top of the announce table. Gunther was busted open, had what we said instantly as a really bad reaction to seeing his own blood. Punk took advantage. Gunther then countered. It took 2 GTSs for Punk to become the new champion. It was one of those short-lived celebrations. A matter of moments later, there was Seth Rollins beating him down, pummeling him with a briefcase. And this is the final look back that CM Punk gives to MetLife Stadium on a night that he will never forget, perhaps for all the wrong reasons, as he is completely taxed and drained and dejected, limping his way back to that gorilla position as we welcome you just outside MetLife Stadium as the SummerSlam post show is presented by Mike's Harder Lemonade. And look at this crowd that's already filling in here outside MetLife Stadium. Thousands of fans streaming out this way as we welcome you over to the set. So glad you're with us. Joe Tessitore alongside Peter Rosenberg and Big E, as here we are on a Saturday night filled with so much anticipation. And Big E, this is how CM Punk became the World Heavyweight Champion.
And right before, we saw Gunther take a GTS but still not leave his feet. We saw a man who was still resilient in that moment. It took one more GTS for Punk to win that championship. And we were sitting here speculating about what might happen. And you were saying you just sat down with your very good friend, and he said Seth Rollins is going to be out for a very long time. You had dinner with him and Becky, and you said, oh, we're not going to see him for months and months. And I said, just you wait. That man is called the architect for a reason. He is a master at his craft, and he had Punk in a moment where Punk was not ready for it.
I saw this man yesterday in Bloomfield, New Jersey. He was wearing shorts, but he looked exactly like this. He had the crutches, he had the brace on. I saw him arduously make his way into a booth at a restaurant. It was difficult for him to get around. The fact that he then showed up tonight and shattered CM Punk's wildest dreams in front of the world. Somehow, guys, a guy who is a first ballot Hall of Famer in Seth Rollins, he just went up another level in my eyes.
Here comes the moment where you felt, okay, he has a year with the briefcase. He's just coming out to make a statement of, don't forget me, I'm holding on to this. And then the moment of truth.
Kaiser Sose.
Crutches be gone. Seth Rollins would take off the knee brace as well, would prepare himself for battle, as CM Punk, who was already through the ringer in a war with Gunther, would have this version of Seth Rollins charging with the Money in the Bank briefcase straight at him to do business, Big E.
And here he comes with the briefcase, gets referee Jessica Carr and says, this is happening right now. And he makes sure even before the bell rings, I'm going to wear Punk down. I'm going to make sure he's exactly where I need him to be, down on the ground, in position for the curb stop.
And you see Punk had so little energy. He wanted to hit him with the title. He had so little energy left. As you see him eat the briefcase, that he drops the title, and now it's too late. It's over.
The beatdown continued. The cash-in officially hadn't even happened yet, and now it does in the hands of Jessica Carr, who calls for it. The contract cash, a championship match underway, and this is all it took. The bell, the stomp, and history made again by Seth Rollins. Now a six-time world champion, now the two-time world heavyweight champion. Seth Rollins, who 3 weeks ago seemingly suffered what was a catastrophic knee injury on Saturday night's main event against LA Knight. He's back. And Paul Heyman, the Oracle, and the master plan, of course, the turn that happened at WrestleMania when Seth Rollins did it there in Las Vegas. It all comes here to SummerSlam, and just look at the reaction of these fans who witnessed history as thousands and thousands are now joining us here outside MetLife. This scene is incredible. They saw history. They saw CM Punk win the World Heavyweight Championship. They saw Seth Rollins cash in. And you turned to Big E and said, it's Seth Rollins. He's the greatest at doing that.
Yeah, this is what he does, right? He has, previous to this, already the most historic cash-in in history. But this is a moment when we call your friends, you tell anyone you know, oh, what are you into? You're into opera, you're into musicals, you're into plays, you're into music, you're into football, you're into basketball. This thing we call wrestling is the greatest thing in the world. Moments like this are why this art form is better than anything else. This is your whole life. The shock We were freaking out.
Look, man. I think oftentimes when people like Seth Rollins has been doing his acting thing for a while, and people think, oh, that means he's ready to leave WWE. He can't wait to get out of here.
No.
But this man took his acting ability and he used it the last several weeks to reel you in. He got you hook, line, and sinker, Rosenberg. He got you every element of it. And you're right. What I love too is here the small moments too. This has been a story that has been building for over a decade.
Yeah.
I remember the first time seeing those two in NXT, seeing Seth Rollins, seeing CM Punk, seeing that connection. And at the time, you saw, I don't know, this is a small detail a lot of people won't recognize, but seeing Seth Rollins whirl that world title around, that's something he did as NXT champion. Around the time he and CM Punk were building their bond, and I think that was a callback. This is a story that has been building for several years. We talk about those two going back to ROH, almost 20 years ago?
Yeah.
This story has been building for so long, and Seth Rollins, I thought there was such a great chance and opportunity for him here tonight, for Punk to finally get his moment, and for Rollins to pull that rug out from underneath him.
We are going to have continuing coverage of the happenings here against Seth Rollins, the new World Heavyweight Champion. I want to remind you, right here on this set, folks, you're going to have Jey Uso right up here in moments. It's a matter of moments for Jey Uso. Also, Alexa and Charlotte will be here as well. We've got new tag team champions. And the architect of all this will be joining us live here on the post show. Paul Triple H Levesque will be right here to go through everything that happened. But right now, we want to get to our ace reporter, Jackie Redmond, who's inside MetLife Stadium, standing by with her reaction. Jackie.
Tess, what can I even say right now that you guys have not already said? I mean, the man Seth Rollins knows how to cash in a Money in the Brief suitcase. I mean, that is undeniable at this point. But I think what I want to start with is what makes what just transpired behind me here at MetLife Stadium so devastating is that there are very few people on planet Earth who understand what CM Punk is going through and feeling right now. WWE is the only place in professional sports and entertainment where you can accomplish the goal of winning a championship only to have it ripped away from you just moments later. It can't happen anywhere else but here, and it just happened to CM Punk. I'm speechless. The fans are speechless. You know, I talked to a longtime WWE superstar after this all went down. They wanted to remain anonymous, but they said, quote, "I did not see that coming. That's wild." Even for Seth Rollins, who we know is a very smart dude. He plans ahead. There's a reason that we call him a visionary. So this superstar, like many others, and like a lot of fans leaving MetLife right now, are walking around with a look of complete shock and awe on their face, myself included. But maybe we shouldn't be surprised. I can't help but think of the exclusive sit-down interview I did with Seth Rollins 8 months ago before his match against CM Punk on the Monday Night Raw Netflix premiere. We sat down for about 25 minutes, and he said to me over and over and over again, as long as CM Punk is in WWE, I will do whatever I have to do to keep that man from achieving anything. In fact, he even said, Jackie, I'll be honest with you, the very presence of CM Punk in my business makes me a bad person. CM Punk brings out the worst in me. And maybe tonight is a shining example of that for Seth freaking Rollins. But he's been telling us all along that this is exactly what he would try to do so long as CM Punk was in WWE. But I mean, there are so many questions with no answers, right? I mean, how long has Seth Rollins been planning this? How long has Paul Heyman known about it? Was it Paul's idea? Was it Seth's idea? Maybe it was the two of them in cahoots planning this all along. Does it happen if Gunther retains the World Heavyweight Championship? I probably think maybe not, considering the bad blood between Seth and CM Punk. But I'll be very curious to hear what Raw General Manager Adam Pearce has to say about this potentially on Monday, because Seth Rollins has lied to everybody. And he's now got the World Heavyweight Championship over his shoulder as a result. So like I said, a ton of questions, but you have to feel for CM Punk, who finally achieves that goal of winning a championship in WWE once again, and does it, by the way, against one of the most dominant superstars we've seen in recent memory in Gunther, all for it to last a mere 5 minutes, Tess. I mean, you gotta feel for Punk. He might not get another chance at this.
Jackie, great job. I'm going to let you do your job right now because we're curious to know if you can go out and get a reaction. So head backstage, see if you can catch up with CM Punk at all, Seth Rollins, or even Paul Heyman. Jackie, great work. We'll let you go do your ace reporting backstage. As we continue on here, we're going to go through all the matches. Plus, remember, our special live guest right here on the post show. And it begins right now with the man who capped the opener. Come on in, heroes! We welcome Jey Uso to the SummerSlam post show. Jey Uso victorious tonight, teaming with Roman Reigns to defeat Bronson Reed.
That's my dog.
And
That's my
Braun
dog.
Breakker.
That's my dog.
Good?
Love you, bro.
Thank you. Go with it. You got Rhythm Joe? You got Rhythm Joe or no?
Hey, you got lots to celebrate tonight, Oos.
You got Rhythm Move? That ain't no damn rent stop. That man
Take a seat. We'll let you settle in. We got a lot to
that
talk
is?
about.
I'm in my 40s now.
What this is? I know what this is.
I went the other direction.
What this is? What this is?
By the way, hey, it's ironic we just played that song because it wasn't just Oos. Wait.
Are we?
Again.
Let's go! Oh! That's right. It's on me. Jeez. Man said. I'm stealing that.
It's like
I'm stealing
It's
that.
like a baby seal.
Hey, man. Hey, please, hey, man.
Shoulders are tight. His shoulders are tight.
You have a remix. You're getting that tonight.
Man, it
He's a
hasn't
DJ.
even
That's
been.
why he's a DJ. That's
Honestly,
it's a DJ.
for all of
Right,
us who have
yeah.
been with you over the course of the past year, it has been such a thrill to watch the ride, the ascent. I mean, back to last fall with your first singles win, and then what we saw at WrestleMania. But man, that entrance at MetLife tonight, that had to feel great.
Yeah. It's always great, Oos. You know what I'm saying? Just blow me up a little bit sometimes. You know what I'm saying? If I could be honest, and we could talk about some Unreal just came out on Netflix. Hey, I'll be blown sky high, bro. And if y'all don't know what blown mean, that mean like I'm tired, like breathing hard.
All right, so I'll give you a second then to answer this and catch your breath. The song says it's just me, Oos, but tonight it wasn't just you.
Nope.
And we got to see you in tag action, and this time, not with your brother,
Why?
but with your cousin, Big Oos, the OTC. What was it like being in there with Roman Reigns?
Man, like I never left, Oos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he got you on. He took one for you right
He
there.
did.
He
He
took
did.
one for you right there.
I thought,
Oh, there you go.
sat him down. Big boy.
Here's how you
That
finish
shit.
it off right here.
In your face.
Taking down 330
I'll spit you
pounds.
in your face, E. I hit you in your face.
Time to
Don't
go
I know
up
it?
top.
He
Time
got a
to
big,
go
he
up
got
top.
a big ass belly, so
Take
I know
us
about
through
to
it, Jay.
ball hit it. You know what I'm saying, E?
Capture that moment. How do you characterize that moment right
great
there?
those. But to answer your question, man, I love my people. You know, I love my cousin. It felt so good, man. Like I never left, man. Almost on some right-hand man days. You know?
Wow.
But that's another chapter. You know what I'm saying? Here, you
Absolutely. So you guys were able to put all the drama of the past, you're able to put behind you. There was none of that teaming up with your cousin Roman Reigns
Man,
tonight, right?
Nah, man. I was on the bus with him earlier, you know.
It's quite a bus, right?
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
real
serious
nice,
bus.
man. You know, eating up all his chips. You know, like family thing, Goose. I said it tonight, man. It's a family thing. We run in WWE regardless of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? My family's number one, bro. First family in this thing, royal family. Yeets.
Man, your run has been incredible, and I feel like your detractors are waiting for a time where people stop eating. But I feel like that ain't happening.
That ain't happening to me.
It doesn't feel like it.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And I know your schedule is so stacked these days. Do you get to a point where this becomes too much, or are you still loving being in this position?
Nah, I love it. You know what it was like, bro. Hey, jeez.
How many different superstars in the locker room have come up and told you that you're their kid's favorite wrestler?
Like
Everybody.
almost all of them. Hey,
Everybody.
nah, but I just enjoyed the ride, dudes, because I know what it, like, it could easily just be taken, or something could just happen, God forbid, get, injured, anything, man. So I just try to stay humble, ready to rumble, man, and answer the call every single time, Oos. You know what it was like? There was a moment where none of this was around me. You know what I'm saying? There was a moment where I did my appearances and nobody showed up. You know what I'm saying? There was a moment where, we sat in the back just waiting, trying to learn the game. Man, it's a chokehold now. It's like, I'm on this, E. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what this is, though, but yeah.
The remix. It's the remix.
Yeah, I do want to ask you about, this was a very interesting week for all of us attached to WWE because of the Netflix docuseries, bringing so much mainstream attention to the product, and specifically for you, and we referenced it earlier, but it really captured a moment in time with you this spring where things weren't perfect, but you went about your business to make them much better. In any way, in watching that this week, reflecting on things this week, do you draw back to that, circle it, and say, hey, man, I know what that was all about, and I know how to get to the other side of it?
Yeah. It's almost like there's a saying, man, like it's easy to get to the top, but it's hard to stay there. Right. I got a little comfortable, so I'm not going to lie. I was feeling myself. Started letting the gas, so I was trying to, I wasn't hungry, and somebody had to tell me that. And when I watched that, running it back, I was like, man, all right, let me go back to the drawing board, let's tighten the screws up, you know what I'm saying? Let's get it right. And I had no idea they would show that, and I'm kind of glad, like, they showed it.
Really?
Yeah, man. It showed, you know what I'm saying? Not everything's perfect, dudes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel me? Sometimes you gotta get up and go to work. You don't want to get up and go to. But you got that light bill though.
Hey, you started off the night the right way, and we love when you come up here. How about it for Jey Uso, everybody? Thank you very much.
I gotta go. That's it. Man, you can
have the final statement. Anything you want.
Man, hey man, I ain't even gonna do it, but I'm gonna let Dirty Jersey behind me finish the thing. Hey, look. 4 letters.
Putty in your hand, right in the palm of your hand. Congratulations, what a night for Jey Uso. Get us out of here, Oos. That is Jey Uso coming up victorious tonight. He had the Uso splash on Big Bronson Reed. We saw moments ago where Roman shoved Jey out of Bron Breakker's spear, took it himself, sacrificed a little bit for his cousin, and Jey Uso walks out of MetLife Stadium SummerSlam Night 1, the victor with Roman Reigns over Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker.
I have a dimensional portal. And it leads to a parallel world.
What? I need to find the Peacemaker. He killed my son.
But I'm not sure redemption is possible. I'm going to make a life in the other world.
No matter how green the grass is over there, you belong here with us.
Whoa.
Glad you're with us here on the SummerSlam Post Show presented by Mike's Carter Lemonade. Joe Tessitore, Peter Rosenberg, Big E with you. Big E, once again, let me get your reaction to what happened at the end of our World Heavyweight Championship match.
Well, we have Gunther here really feeling himself, stands up on the table. That ends up really costing him, bleeding like a stuck pig, and that leads to CM Punk hitting 2 GTSs to win his first World Championship in WWE in, 12 years?
It's an incredible moment. You saw guys Michael Cole jumped out of his seat. The passion to see CM Punk get there, to have it. Look at that. Look at the moment in his eyes when he realized. And he knew in that moment, he didn't have the gas to fight off Seth Rollins. And he probably knew well enough, if he heard his music, this guy's not really hurt.
Absolutely.
Punk had to know.
The fix was in.
Right when he heard the music, he's like, wait a second.
As he came out in the crutches, it was just 3 weeks ago, everybody stopped and said, oh no, Seth is going to be out for an extended period of time.
But he made the best point, Joe.
Yep.
He made the best point when we were hanging out here. He goes, did you guys notice? We haven't heard any updates that, like, he went to James Andrews and got the surgery.
We
were
only
waiting
got
for
that first update the week after it happened, that he had the visit in Birmingham with the orthopedic group. Nothing then followed in terms of the medical updates.
Then he hosted Rich Eisen's show.
That's correct.
Remember? He filled in for Rich, and on Rich Eisen's show, he said, I went there. We're going to figure it out here in Los Angeles. That was a weird answer now that I look back at it.
Now that you look back, it all is clear.
And now that I see the
Seth
man do
Rollins,
this.
the whole time he had a plan. He had a plan the entire time. And him with Paul Heyman and the Bronze, I'm telling you, I don't know who stops that faction.
Unbelievable. And I was just talking earlier on the Countdown show, oh, what an opportunity it is for Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. One of them will step up and lead this thing. Not so fast. The World Heavyweight Champion is Seth Rollins. Doing all this in slacks, mind you.
And here he is grabbing referee Jessica Carr, lining up CM Punk. And to your point, CM Punk tries to fight him off with the world title.
No energy.
But he had nothing left after that match with Gunther.
And you have a very rested Seth Rollins, who's apparently been chilling for the last 3 weeks, and hits him directly with the briefcase, now repeatedly, and at that point, it's academic. You've never won a title in slacks.
Not once. I couldn't do it.
This man, he looks, by the way, phenomenal.
In great shape. Here's the official announcement, the ringing of the bell.
And that is how you do it, right? You don't actually hand over the briefcase until you have the champion prone. And I said to you, it could be one stomp.
And that's what it was.
One stomp.
That's all it took.
1, 2, 3. Title number 6. Unbelievable. Seth Rollins has done it again. And Paul Heyman has done it again. Another mastermind performance from Paul Heyman. And let's not forget, when this all ends, Paul Heyman sits cross-legged, pipe bomb style, staring at CM Punk's face. Unreal.
The biggest party of the summer continues on here live outside MetLife Stadium. The SummerSlam Post Show is presented by Mike's Harder Lemonade. Hard days deserve a hard lemonade. But when you've had a really hard day, like the WWE superstars in the ring, you may need a lemonade that hits harder. You need Mike's Harder Lemonade. Thrilled you're with us. Joe Tessitore, Peter Rosenberg, and Big E, and this big crowd that just witnessed history as Seth Rollins is the new World Heavyweight Champion after CM Punk had defeated Gunther. The cash-in happened. The Money in the Bank contract cashed in, and Seth Rollins has shocked the world. Just one of many matches that we have already started to analyze and break down for you. We promise you that Triple H will be right here, as will Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. But right now, Kathy Kelly with Drew McIntyre. Kathy.
I'm here with Drew McIntyre. And Drew, for the past several weeks, you and Logan Paul have been mocking Jelly Roll. While you guys picked up the win tonight, he certainly got the respect from the WWE Universe. Does he have your respect now?
As a wrestler? No, absolutely not. As a singer, yeah, he's great. As singing, he proved he's a lot tougher than I thought he was and Logan thought he was. But, okay, I'm gonna have to say something about this. Karma's a hell of a thing. I've been watching what's going on in Raw with Seth. Seth and I, professional rivals, not like Punk and I. Seth has done exactly to Punk what Punk did to me, and tonight was the cherry on top. Congratulations, Seth. You deserve it, and karma is indeed a biatch. Me, maybe I needed someone to watch my back this entire time. Maybe that's what I was missing. I always felt like I had to be a loner, taking on the whole world, try to represent the WWE Universe until after Hell in the Cell, when I realized that nobody cared about me, no one talked about me for 3 months, no one called me for 3 months, and I thought I'm going to have to be on my own. But having Logan watch my back, having some success, maybe that's what I needed all along. So Jelly Roll, nice try, you failed. Reality era, that's what's beginning now. The gratitude era is over, the reality era begins.
Guess that's the final question. Congratulations again to Drew and Logan Paul. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Kathy Kelly. Now let's get into our WWE Women's Championship match, Big E. Tiffany Stratton defending against Jade Cargill.
I thought Jade had a really great performance here tonight. I think for so long in WWE, people have asked, is Jade ready? Is she up to snuff? Can she do it when she doesn't have Bianca by her side? And although she came up short here tonight, I thought she had one of her very best singles match performances against Tiffany. But unfortunately, Tiffany was just a little bit better here tonight.
I got to tell you, I did not really picture a world in which we would get, prettiest moonsault ever, 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring, and Jade Cargill in the biggest opportunity of her career getting pinned clean like that. I just couldn't have pictured it. It's got to be the biggest moment for Tiffany Stratton so far.
No, absolutely. You could talk about the matches with Nia Jax. She's had some incredible performances there, but she is really building a legacy here, and now she's racked up some really great defenses. We're talking about 7 title defenses, undefeated this year. Undefeated. That's really incredible for someone who is only 26 years old.
Truly amazing to be this far along at this point and then secure it with a win over Jade Cargill, who is maybe has the more potential than anyone. It's a huge night for Tiffany Stratton.
Jackie Redmond with Tiffany Stratton.
Tess, thank you so much. Tiffany Stratton, first of all, congratulations, not just on retaining this championship tonight at SummerSlam, but also the year you're having. My goodness, you are on an absolute tear. 14-0 in 2025, undefeated. I mean, how have you been able to not just achieve this success so early in your career, but to hang on to it?
Like I said earlier, Jackie, I was so nervous walking into this tonight. It's my first ever SummerSlam, and Jade is undeniable, but so am I. And now I've been champ for over 200 days, and I'm the current longest WWE champion. And the storm came, but I stood strong. And it is still Tiffy time.
Well, there's no denying that. Thank you so much, and congratulations again. Tess, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you very much, Jackie. So Tiffany retains, but we do have new gold in new hands. The Women's Tag Champions. Folks, please welcome, maybe they are friends, Alexa Bliss and the Queen, Charlotte Flair.
What's up, guys? Yeah!
We even have our pose.
Hello.
There's a pose already? You guys have a pose too?
No, it's not a, no. It's her pose and my pose.
Great stuff.
Just combined, all right?
Got it. The champs,
Thank you.
the champs are here. Sit, join us.
Come on,
talk
sit
with
down.
us. You're champions now.
The champs. And by the way, the merch is incredible. Can we just get to that? The merch is absolutely incredible.
Is it upside down?
You know, I think the F word is catching on. Friends.
Are they saying friends?
So now that we're in this
chanting
kind of
friends.
setting,
They want
hug it out.
They want to see a hug.
Hug it out.
They want to see a hug.
Hug it out. How cute is that?
That wasn't so bad, was it?
That wasn't terrible.
That was terrible?
No. You smell good.
Oh, it's my Chanel.
hey, now that we're in this setting and away from that setting and what we do on Mondays, Fridays, and select Saturdays, we can discuss this situation a little bit. I said to you a couple weeks ago, it's just too good. It's too much fun. It's just too good. How much fun are you guys having now when you have these in your hands?
Oh, I'm having the best time. Look at this thing.
Look at that.
Just kidding.
How's that feel?
Stop putting your title in front of mine.
Sorry.
It never stops. Oh, and you still have poor
Your
Roxanne
side
and
plates.
Raquel's side plates.
Well, we'll give him time. We'll give him time.
Give him a day or two.
Yeah.
Should we go through the highlights and tell everybody how you won this thing, and you guys can take us through it just a little bit, because I thought there were some spectacular moments here, especially the last
I don't
few
hear that very
sequences.
often.
No, you do not, but it's nice to hear, isn't it?
That might be the first time I hear that, guys.
This is how it all went down in the end. Alexa,
Oh, yeah, we got to talk about that. My jaw is still a little...
this was spectacular here because the Tejana bomb, the Pop Rocks, and then that save and the timing on that, that's great stuff.
Thank you.
Camaraderie building.
Oh,
Big
coming
boot.
with a big boot.
Look at you helping out your friend.
Sister
We're not
Abigail
putting on
DDT.
the
Sorry.
Charlotte, how would you characterize that moment right there?
I guess Bliss isn't so bad.
Oh, thanks.
I would say you guys have done so much as singles competitors. Has it been difficult finding your chemistry together? I know it's been a different kind of chemistry, but has it taken some time to gel as a tag team?
I mean, it's still taking time to gel. You know,
I mean, she punched me in the face tonight.
I punched her in the face and she pushed me on the entrance.
I guess you hit your friends harder, right?
Oh,
Oh, I just said friends. No,
Yeah.
I mean, like, you want to hit your friends.
It's feeling like friends.
I mean, it's dropping the F word
It's
left and right
giving
here.
friends. is what it's
Dropping the
giving.
F word like
No,
nobody's
it just feels
business.
effortless. Like, even on our entrance, I never thought I'd want someone beside me, but I guess if I had to have someone beside me, it'd be Bliss.
So can I tell you guys? I think I told you. I think I've told you guys both this at this point. But when I was watching on TV, and because you guys are two of my longtime friends
OGs?
here in the company, yes, who I love, and when I saw you guys together, I went, I like this for them. This really feels like, because sometimes singles competitors who are big stars, who are former champions, can end up getting thrown in a tag team, and everyone kind of knows this is not going to last long. It's kind of to bide time. This felt like something real from the beginning. Bliss, did you have that feeling early on?
Well, I have had the best time from the beginning. I knew that eventually I was gonna like break her down, you know, or maybe
She
I
brought
just
me back
annoyed
into
her.
the spotlight.
Maybe I just annoyed her. I don't know.
No, she was pretty annoying. No, I just felt like I needed a somewhat kind of friend professionally and personally, and if it had to be someone, we go like 10 years back. I think I was there for her in NXT maybe a couple times, and she never forgot it, and I felt like when she came back, she was like, man, maybe Charlotte does need a friend, and just her bringing out a different side of me really helps, and I don't know, thank you.
What I think is really interesting as well is you two have both recently have had some like extended time away, and now you've done so many things in this industry as singles, and now with the time away, so much life has happened as well. Do you guys have is there a shared like commonality with trying to figure out what you want this chapter of your career to look like?
So I would have not had tagging with Lexi on my 2025 bingo card. Like, I really mean that. Like, when I was sitting at home for a year, I didn't think, oh man, I really want to come back and I want to tag with Lexi and I want to win the tag titles. But I think for me, it's kind of like, this is what needed to happen. This is, you know, sometimes the best things come out of nowhere that aren't expected. And I think that's what this is. It's very organic. I don't think anyone thought this was going to be a thing or it would work. And it is. And it's just, that's when sometimes the best things happen that aren't planned.
Yeah.
And that's what it feels like. And I honestly, like, the 10 years I've been here, tonight felt like a top 3 moment. I'm not just saying that for like
Aww.
this step. No, but it was like, I didn't expect this or want this. And it like,
Just
dang, like, I didn't even think I was
organically
going to be
developed.
on SummerSlam after WrestleMania. So like, I was very much directionless. Like, after Mania, I was just like, damn, I came back, I gave it all, and I don't know what's next. And then like, here's this little 5 feet of fury that was like, hey, what's going on with you? Like, come hang out with me. I'm like, no. And then like, here we are at SummerSlam, and it was just like, damn, even after 10 years, after everything I've done, this felt really freaking cool.
Yeah.
They didn't say the F word. It
Well done.
felt cool. Like, yeah.
And the other thing that has to feel great is the reaction from these fans because they love the two of you together. And guys, we can't thank you enough. It's great to visit with you on a night where you're celebrating gold. Hey, they're the new women's tag team champions. Give a big hand for the Queen Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Well done.
Aww.
Let's take you to the other action as we continue here with the post show. Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross, Big E.
Look, there was so much on the line here, and we have this really interesting moment here with Scarlett passing that weapon to Karrion. We think this might be it, but Sami's able to duck, gets the near fall, and Kross kicks out. And this part, really, this is what fascinated me the most, with Scarlett passing this to Sami.
And in the moment of truth for Sami, would he go to the dark side or not, Peter?
So here's my question. When Scarlett does that, is that her, she's trying to test him on
Yeah, it's the
behalf
test
of
for
Karrion.
Sami.
So she's hoping that he will actually go all the way like Karrion.
Absolutely. But Sami Zayn, being the virtuous man that he is, refuses, hits the haluva kick in the corner, and gets the fall.
What in the world is he doing here? What are you doing? What is going on here? All right, Paul Heyman and Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker have just completely interrupted our SummerSlam post show. The Oracle who New World Heavyweight Champion is here. Seth Rollins has arrived on the set. Earlier tonight, cashed in and defeated CM Punk to become the World Heavyweight Champion. Well done, sir.
He did.
And now apparently their celebration is to take over our post show right here, right now. Guys plan on joining us? No.
Not a microphone situation.
Offered them the opportunity to sit down. They just want to celebrate.
There's a lot we could ask if he would grab a microphone.
There are a lot of questions I have to ask.
I've never seen anyone tussle your hair before or grab that expensive jacket.
Honestly. Congratulations, Paul.
Congrats. Congrats.
Those are tests.
Well, there goes the rundown. All of our notes. Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, Seth's Oracle, Paul Heyman, and the new World Heavyweight Champion interrupting the post-show to celebrate here. And this is how he did it. Seth Rollins throwing the crutches away, taking off the knee brace, looking back at CM Punk, who had just defeated Gunther, beating him down with the briefcase before turning to referee Jessica Carr and cashing in officially to make it a championship fight that took one simple stomp. Would you mind handing me that, Michael? And that is how Seth Rollins arrived as now the new World Heavyweight Champion. Thank you, Peter.
This is truly a new chapter started tonight. I did not think we were entering. I actually was going into SummerSlam thinking this is a really big show, right? But this is not WrestleMania. Like we are not resetting the calendar completely. We're going to have a really big PLE, a two-night PLE at MetLife Stadium. But here we are, and it feels like the day after WrestleMania, the night of WrestleMania, a new Seth Rollins chapter.
Absolutely. He wins his 6th world championship. Again, you talk about him being the king of cash-ins. We think about his historic cash-in at WrestleMania, and what he did tonight, like you said, really does shift the landscape. And we go into Monday Night Raw with so many questions. What does this mean for the future of the company? But here tonight, Seth Rollins wins his 6th world championship.
Well, the man who holds the keys to the future of the company is Paul Triple H Levesque, and perhaps some of those answers can come our way right now. So let's bring on the man who deserves so much credit for what was an absolutely outrageous night number 1 of SummerSlam. Paul, come on out here, and congratulations on a successful night 1. How are you? Good. Great job tonight, Paul. Excellent job.
Got a water. I need a water.
Oh, he's calling for the water.
Hey, listen.
Gotta hydrate.
It happened at the White House this week. It can happen here at SummerSlam.
Hold on. Take the music out. Take music out. Everybody be quiet. Just 1 second, please. Bear with me for a second. I need silence. Because I brought a friend with me.
Oh! Kelly. Oh, man. Wow, did you show out tonight.
Look, you're making kids cry. Look at that. Let's go! I love you. What's up, WWE Universe?
Guys, take a seat. What a night. What a night. By the way, this is what the scripts look like after Seth Rollins comes by for a visit right here.
Seemed like a big party up here.
Hey, I want to say something to you because we watched you work your ass off
Yes, sir.
for the last couple months. You completely over-delivered. Paul, this guy over-delivered on everything he promised he would
100%.
tonight.
Look, I said it to him in the back. I said this to him in the back when he was done, and he walked in the back, and Doc was checking him out, making sure he was okay. And I walked up to him and I said, the one thing that you did made everybody here proud. You earned your spot in our business. You earned that. And the biggest word I can say to tell him, and I'll tell him again right now, and I don't say it to a lot of people unless it's really earned, but my respect.
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 Respect. Thank you, Triple H. The GOAT. Woo!
Jelly, what was it? You have accomplished so many incredible things, Jelly. Everyone knows this guy's story, as you shared with Stephanie this week. Where did tonight rank, though? Obviously not the result you wanted, but being in that ring, in the shape that you're in, where does that rank in your life for the coolest things you've ever done?
It's right up there next to marrying my wife and having birth of my child. I mean, literally the greatest show I've ever done. It feels right up there with the first time I played the Ryman Auditorium or the Grand Ole Opry. It was spiritual, man. It was special, even to be getting my ass kicked a bunch. It's funny to be getting your butt kicked and still feel kind of good about it afterwards. I'm sore, I'm hurt, but I'm not injured, so.
That's beautiful. Jelly, there are a lot of people who are fans of this industry, but I'm wondering, is there anything that, when you started this, is there anything that surprised you about this journey or that you learned maybe about yourself or about this industry once you started the actual work and stepping in the ring?
But dude, you know, I learned a lot about myself, obviously, and I've always loved this, man. I've been a lifelong wrestling fan. I've been in this parking lot before. I've been one of these guys up in the 300s watching this. I've been watching wrestling since the 90s in person. This is just ingrained in my soul. I was a kid tonight. That's the shoot on it, dog. I was just 12-year-old Jelly's exploding inside. He's just every hug he never got, he just got. It's awesome.
I want to go through some of the highlights here, and as we do, Paul and Jelly, I want your reaction.
Oh, we got highlights.
to
I
what
haven't
we're
even seen
seeing
this,
here.
by the way.
And because there were moments here that were incredible, both what you withstood and then what you delivered after the fact. But just to get your reaction, this alone, Paul.
Oh.
Yeah,
I would call that a low light. That wasn't a highlight.
Hey, not for you. You got to be pretty tough to go through that.
Right here, I thought to myself, oh my God, I just killed Jelly Roll.
And then how about this offensive attack that you gave later? The choke slam. I mean, you got him up there, Jelly.
A power slam? I mean, you got yourself
Off
a little
the top,
repertoire.
baby.
And it took Drew coming in to make
I've
the
ate
save.
this boot too many times. I just want y'all to know.
Oh, it's in there.
Oh,
I
God.
felt it. It is in there.
No, dude, it's in there too. It's snug.
RKO in the end.
Oh, he had to cheat Randy out of that. Randy could have beat these guys by himself.
Logan came off the
so
post to
clean.
the table. Logan comes off with the splash there. But in the end, listen, they
should've
may
tried
be
to
the
run it over.
victors, but everybody, tens of thousands, as well as thousands joining us here, the biggest winner to come out of that match is the man sitting right here.
Right there.
The man sitting right here.
Look, that's the thing. When I say earned respect, it's not just tonight. It's not just going out in front of 50,000 people and performing. It's all the work that you put in to get to the place where you perform. It's all the you know, like they say, champions are made when you're working. It's in the times that nobody sees, right? And what people don't see of what it took him to get here tonight is hundreds of pounds of weight loss, of hours and hours and hours in the gym, dedicating himself to be here to do this, walking in the Performance Center, moving to Orlando so he could train there. What'd you break your finger the first day?
First day.
Broke his finger day one, taped it up, taped it to the other ones, got right back in there and went and did it. But also a guy that when he would get to the Performance Center, would go there, would kill himself training, and then would grab the broom and sweep the ring out with everybody else. The respect he has for what we do, for the men and women that are in the back that dedicate their life to this, what they've done, that's why I say respect. Not just for what he did tonight, not just for that moment, because that's a hell of a motivating force, right? Everything he went through tonight, phenomenal tonight. Put up with all that pain, and tomorrow he's going to feel like a bus hit him. On Monday, he's going to feel like the bus backed over him. But the truth is, it's all the bumps that he took. It's all the things that he went through, all that pain and suffering, all those blood, sweat, and tears that he spent on the way to getting here where nobody was watching. That's the respect.
Yes, thank you. Shout out NXT. Shout out Coach Bloom, Coach Moss, Brookside. I love y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Ooh, I can cry.
I hearing this and seeing what happened, Hunter, I can't help but think this guy's going to be back.
I don't think I can stop him. Yeah, he's already talked to me about coming back. He's already talked to me about doing more. We'll see when the time is right. And you know, when you have that level of respect for people, then you want to see them be able to have that opportunity again. So we'll be talking, and we'll see what he can do. And I'm sure he's got some payback coming for Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre. So we'll see. But look, let's also talk about the rest of what we saw tonight.
We are going to do that right now. And by the way, hey, here's our new format where Triple H comes out to speak to the people directly when it comes to our post-show. So take us through it. You want to make your opening comments on night one here at SummerSlam, Paul?
Yeah, look, first of all, let me thank everybody here in New Jersey, New York. I have some notes, so let me take them out because I'll forget and screw this all up.
Night one of the history-making first two-night SummerSlam.
First two-night SummerSlam here in New Jersey. You know, we had tryouts here in New Jersey. People at the Superstore. Incredible business being done there. We had people practicing this week with the Giants, the Jets, the Yankees, the Mets. We had community events, Boys and Girls Club, Make-A-Wish. Who are you booing? Jersey? Like the Jets or the Giants?
Probably the Mets.
Probably the Mets?
Probably the Mets. Everyone beats up the Mets.
The rowdy bunch.
They are.
I love it.
They're loving it.
You know, I love this format because it allows me to come out here with this. And, you know, I have to sit in the back a lot. I don't get to experience this. So this for me is awesome, man. I love all of you. Thank you. Who's coming back tomorrow?
Paul, let's get to the big headline of the night. And obviously that is the shocker that we saw in the World Heavyweight Championship match, which was a grueling affair between Gunther and CM Punk until came the turn moment when CM Punk shrimped a bump on the table. Gunther didn't like seeing his own blood, and it still took a lot from Punk to get it done with back-to-back GTSs, but he couldn't celebrate for long because of Seth Rollins.
Look, when you have a match like that with a guy like Gunther, you're looking. To me, if I'm inside of Punk's mind, I'm just waiting for the opportunity where this guy makes a mistake or does something. And if I can just survive the onslaught, that's the only shot I've got. Waited for the mistake. When the mistake was made and Gunther came up a wounded animal, Punk had to capitalize quick, and he did, and it cost Gunther the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, when you break it down on the physical side, then you got to break it down on the mental side. Right, so he goes through all that physical stuff, and then Seth Rollins is playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers. And he comes out, goes through none of it, and takes the World Heavyweight Championship. My hat's off to Seth Rollins. That's a smart way to do business. Not thrilled about bogus medical reports, but we'll deal with that down the line.
It's amazing how they heal up in 3 weeks.
He's a very rapid healer. Look, I think so much back to the origin of the story. We could talk about Ring of Honor, but I also was there in NXT when you were running things in 2012, and Seth Rollins was the inaugural NXT champion. Did you know when you saw Seth then that he was going to be the guy you can build around 13 years later?
Yeah, I mean, he certainly had the skill set. The difference between Seth Rollins in NXT and Seth Rollins now is Seth Rollins then had a chip on his shoulder and something to prove, but sometimes to his detriment. And there were a lot of moments where, I had to have a conversation with Seth Rollins about, you're no longer going to be here if we continue this. And to see that growth, to see that superstar channel that mindset, to see him focus that mindset into one place where it's all about being successful now. The chip isn't to fight the system. The chip is to be the best in the system, and he proved that again tonight. Smarter than everybody else, a step ahead of everybody else. I'm sure CM Punk is kicking himself for not being in that mindset, but he had just gone through a war to the point where he and everybody else forgot all about Seth Rollins, and that's what Seth was hoping for.
there has to be a part of you that respects that Seth Rollins refuses to forget what CM Punk did.
Yeah.
Everyone has welcomed CM Punk back with open arms, not Seth Rollins. He has stayed here. He has been the face. And even though the tactics are questionable, there has to be a certain level of respect of how much he takes this place very, very seriously.
He does, and it's his passion for this. It's his passion for WWE that drives his, whatever you want to call it, his anger, his hatred, his unforgivingness of CM Punk to where he is. CM Punk, in his mind, wronged the one thing Seth Rollins cares about, and it is the WWE and the respect for this industry, and he will never forgive him for that. He can't get past it. He can't grow past it. I feel like they are destined to do this until one of them is done.
Paul, when we have moments like this, I love going back and seeing everybody's reactions. And we want to share with everybody right now how this played out with our international announcers, as well as the reactions to some of the folks here on the set. Take a look at the moment of the cash-in with Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship.
It is funny how holy in every language, right?
Here's Mandarin.
Survivor Series zurückkehrte. Nochmal mit dem Angriffskörper. Hämmert auf CM Punk ein. Meint es anhauen, macht es zu seiner Mission. CM Punk değiştirecek. Bu altından çıkarması değiştirecek. Şampiyonluk sadece bir dakika mı? Stiamo per assistere a qualcosa di clamoroso. Ce lo stop! Incredibile a Somerset, incredibile al MetLife Stadium. Seth Rollins incassa la valigetta del Money in the Bank e diventa nuovo campione del mondo dei pesi massimi. Ci aveva preso in giro tutti, aveva finto l'infortunio a Saturday Night's Main Event.
So that's from around the world, and then this was earlier tonight on this set right here. Peter, you had dinner with Seth last night. He was in a brace.
I saw the guy. He was in a brace.
Yeah.
He couldn't sit down. He couldn't move.
Yeah.
So that was the reaction on the set. And I'll say this, Jelly, you're a huge fan. Now, I don't know if you were dealing with medical or dealing with things backstage, but you reacting to what you saw in the main event, how did you take it in?
Oh, dude, first of all, what a war. CM Punk gone through an absolute war. And then in that moment, whenever I seen CM Punk sitting there and crying with the belt in his hand, I thought to myself, there's no way it's fixing to happen. And then it hit. Here comes Seth Rollins on crutches. And when he turned around, I thought maybe he was bailing. Maybe he was leaving and just showing him he was still lurking for him. And he drops the crutches. Goosebumps all the way up my body, dude.
On the same night you debuted,
What?
you got reminded that you love it even more than you realized.
God! What up, dude? Because I sent him a message immediately, like, dude, because I was there at Saturday Night Main Event when he hurt his knee.
Yeah.
It looked like he hurt his knee. I mean, everybody, dude, it's crazy. I watched him on the Rich Eisen show, full braced up.
Said the same thing. It's crazy.
The Rich Eisen people told me off camera that he literally crutched in and crutched out.
Stick around with us as Paul goes through the rest of the card. We get more of Paul's thoughts there, because earlier tonight, right here in these seats, we had Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair join us. Now, I will tell you this. They're having a lot of fun with the "We're Not Friends" and "Don't Say the F Word." They hugged it out right here on this stage.
I saw that.
They hugged it out right here on this stage. It's like a breath of fresh air for them.
So let me ask you a question, though. And now they've hugged it out. Can we say the F word?
We can say the F word now.
You can all say the F word. It's been approved by Charlotte and Alexa. So, yeah, I'm thrilled. Look, it's an amazing moment in time where you can go back 4 weeks ago, and Charlotte Flair is one of the most hated people on the WWE roster, right? And you go flash forward to her friendship with Alexa Bliss, and 50,000 people are going crazy and loving everything she does, right? That is the beauty of what we do. It can change on a dime, and was an exciting night. But let's also though talk about Roxanne Perez and Raquel.
Yes,
that's a hell of a run, and two people that very much like Alexa and Charlotte didn't get along, and now all of a sudden have become a very cohesive tag team. I don't think this is over.
Want to get your thoughts on the WWE Women's Championship as Tiffany Stratton retained. Jade Cargill has come a long way to perform the way she's been performing. That was very competitive, Paul.
Both of them, incredible performance. Both of them have only been doing this in an entirety for a very short period of time. So, you know, you go back and you look at the length of time they're doing this, you can give nothing but respect to both. There is a part of me, though, that I feel like Jade Cargill has been a ticking time bomb for a while now. I see it backstage. I see it when she's just walking around in the back, and I see her attitude towards people. She is a ticking time bomb. I think she thought tonight was her night. It's going to be interesting to see how she reacts to that.
Biggie, we talked about stacking these bricks of confidence with performance and then seeing results. We're seeing that with Jade.
No, absolutely. And just Jade's growth as well. And she's someone that obviously has so much star power and so much charisma, but you start to wonder, can she get it done in the ring? And I think she's proven that as of late. And I also love just how much was put around her. I think you've done such a tremendous job of presenting her, just the buzz around her when she first got signed. Can you speak to what it was like to decide this is someone I'm really going to put a lot of pieces around and really elevate?
Yeah, look, she has all the unteachables, right? It is something that is just the intangibles, the X factor, whatever you want to call it. She has that more so than almost anybody else on the roster, and she is growing into that position of her look, her aura, all that thing. She's now growing as a performer into that. And I think once those two things match, sky's the limit, game over.
Our first guest tonight on our post show was Jey Uso. Jey Uso obviously lit this place ablaze coming through MetLife Stadium, really setting the tone for the energy that we saw throughout. Hey, Roman took one for him. Roman sacrificed for the team a little bit tonight, Paul.
That's a different Roman Reigns.
Yes.
You go back a couple of years, Roman doesn't take a bullet for
right.
anyone. Roman Reigns taking a bullet for Jey Uso tonight. I think he, over this time, I think Jey Uso has earned respect of the tribal chief. I think there was a point in time where he was calling him main event Jey Uso and all that stuff. I think as I'll make you feel good about yourself, kid. Now I think he really sees Jey Uso as main event Jey Uso. Doesn't mean he's not still the tribal chief, but I think Jey Uso has earned the respect of the tribal chief.
Hey, we still got tomorrow night, my man. Congratulations on night one.
We still got tomorrow, and I can tell you all of you this, anybody that didn't come tonight, anybody that's coming tomorrow or thinking about coming tomorrow, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Whoa! Jelly, congratulations. What a show. Paul, congratulations.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for being with us. Give it up for Jelly Roll and Paul Triple H Levesque. What a night for these two. As we continue on here with the SummerSlam Post Show, presented by Mike's Harder Lemonade. Big night here at MetLife. They are celebrating here in the parking lot. We've had live guests. We've got Big E's 5 to come. Great job tonight, Paul. You still got a little bit of work to do.
Yes, sir. Just a little bit.
We're not done.
Just a tad.
As we look at the schedule tomorrow, the Countdown Show will get underway at 3 Eastern. Once again, SummerSlam Night 2 begins at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific, streaming on Peacock. We will be in this same position tomorrow night. Join us again right here tomorrow night for the post show with more live guests, and Triple H will be back. And then this is the slate. Of course, it is topped by the undisputed WWE Championship match between John Cena, the Never Seen 17, and Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, trying to get his gold back. Of course, I think everybody's still trying to digest what happened on Friday Night SmackDown, where John Cena came out and basically said, I'm back to being the John Cena you've always known. The John Cena that Cody Rhodes, you're doubting it. You're doubting it.
He can't be back.
But, I mean, it was so earnest. I don't know if it's a trick. I don't know. I have so many questions. I know we're really going to dive into it tomorrow as well. But what does this mean? What, I don't know what this version of John Cena. I'm going to see the John Cena that we know and love because he restored the feeling. That's the feeling I left with.
And he dropped a pretty sick bar at the end about him being the only platinum rapper in
Yeah, that was nice. He made that reference.
A bit of a bar there, but I will say this. Triple H just said a mouthful because he just said you ain't seen nothing yet. Tonight was incredible. Tonight was supposed to be, I think, for a lot of fans, sort of the build-up to tomorrow night. And he's saying we're going to surpass what we just got.
Look, we got a lot of great stuff today.
We got something to do right now because it is time to sum up the night by the man, the guy who does it every single time on the post show. It is time for Big E's 5 Count.
Here we go. This is Big E's 5 Count where I run down my top 5 performers of the night. Number 1, we have Braun Breaker. Did you know that in Dutch, Braun means spring or water source? Oh. And despite his loss, if you're a fan of watching this man demolish people, your thirst was quenched.
Wow.
Number 2, we have Alexa Bliss. Bear with me here. The 5 feet of fury foiled the fantasized future of her foes, finally finishing the fight with Beau Friend Flair. A little bit of alliteration there for
Dutch, and then lots of F's.
There we go. Number 3, we have Tiffany Stratton. Surely the Minneapolis native listened to fellow Minnesotan Prince and purified herself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka because her performance tonight was pristine. Woo. Tiffany Stratton remains your WWE Women's Champion.
Lake Minnetonka.
Number 4, we got my man Jelly Roll. Did you know that a Swiss roll, also known as a jelly roll, is a sponge cake filled, wrapped around a filling? Well, this jelly roll must be stuffed with a big brass cojones. He may have lost tonight, but he displayed a rare grit in defeat.
He did.
And last but not least, at number 5, we have Seth Rollins, a thief, burglar, looter, crook, marauder, bandit, swindler, raider, pilferer. Seth Rollins steals Punk's moment and his world title with another historic cash-in.
How about Big E?
Bless you.
That may be my favorite 5 count yet.
Thank you. You know, you learn a few things. Got a little Dutch in there. Got a little alliteration in there for you. A Prince, Rock Prince. You know, we're trying to mix it up for you.
I loved it.
Folks, the headline of the night, Seth Rollins is the World Heavyweight Champion. We will see you for SummerSlam Night 2 tomorrow from right here at MetLife Stadium, streaming on Peacock. So long from Night 1.
This has been a special presentation of WWE. For over 70 years, the global leader in sports and entertainment.
This is the home of the Jets and Giants of the NFL. And this weekend, the host of an historic 2-night SummerSlam.
What's good, WWE Universe? Who's ready to win something? Welcome to SummerSlam!
Jey Uso wants an encore in Yeet Jersey.
Inside it feels like I'm barely breathing. Feels like air's running out.
Reigns shoving Jey out of the way.
You put up to keep me down, 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 down.
Waking up without a name, opened up my eyes, knowing nothing is the same. Circling around a drain, as I realize that there's no one else to blame.
You keep me waiting.
the foot on the bottom rope, and the official has to call off the cover. Prettiest moonsault ever. Tiffany Stratford retains.
Everybody out there, devil is coming. Promise you the world, but he's always bluffing. Before you even know it's a trap you're stuck in, he's gone like a ghost already off running.
And a splash through Jelly Roll. Claymore.
Waiting down here, so far below, staring up from the bottom. From the bottom. I try to escape it, but there's nowhere to go. Staring up from the bottom. Gotta get out of here.
Look at the world champion.
Seth Rollins is cashing in.
Lose of the century.